Hi, hello everyone! I'm Toshi from Japan and tourist guide for foreigners. In this video, I'll show you
12 new entry routes for traveling to Japan in 2025. Over the years, I've shared a lot of important updates about traveling to Japan, and one of the biggest topics that always gets attention is entry requirements, things like immigration system changes, visa rules, and tax-free shopping updates. These are things that affect every traveler, so I know they matter to you. And honestly, the number one question I keep getting is, what's the latest on entering Japan? So, I did some digging, checked all the newest updates, and put everything together for you. In this video, I'll break down 12 key updates you need to know before you land in Japan. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to expect at the airport, how to go through immigration smoothly, and how to make the most of Japan's latest travel perks. Plus, I also offer guided tour in Japan, travel itineraries based on trip duration and area, and recommendations for unique cultural experiences.
You can find more information in the description below. So, let's get started.
Number 1. Japan's ESTA System. Japan has been making it easier for foreign visitors to enter the country, expanding visa exemptions to encourage more tourism. Right now, travelers from 71 countries and regions can visit Japan without a visa. But with that comes some risks, things like illegal entry and potential security concerns. So, to enhance border security, Japan is considering a new entry system similar to the US ESTA. This means that before arriving in Japan, travelers may need to submit personal details, accommodation information, and travel plans for pre-screening. The goal is to identify potential risks before travelers even board their flights. This system will directly affect visa-exempt travelers, but there's actually some good news. If implemented, it could streamline entry procedures, making border control much smoother. Once approved, travelers could go through immigration faster, avoiding long lines, especially during peak hours or late-night arrivals. Japan aims to start rolling out this system by 2025 and have it fully in place by 2030.
So, if you are planning to visit coming years, stay updated on these changes to make sure your trip goes smoothly.
Number 2. New pre-clearance system. Japan is more popular than ever with travelers, but there's one big problem: long immigration lines. A friend of mine recently flew in from the US and had to wait over an hour just to clear immigration. To fix this, Japan has announced a new pre-clearance system in collaboration with South Korea and Taiwan. This means that travelers will be able to complete immigration procedures before arriving in Japan, making entry much faster and more efficient. And here's why this is great news for everyone, not just travelers from South Korea and Taiwan. First, these two countries make up about 40% of all inbound travelers to Japan. If their entry process speeds up, it will reduce overall wait times for everyone. Second, many Western travelers visit Japan as part of a multi-destination trip that includes stops in South Korea or Taiwan. This system will also benefit those travelers by streamlining their entry process. As of September 2024, this system was set to launch in January 2025, but as of now, it hasn't started yet. I expect an official update soon, so stay tuned.
If you don't want to miss out on this update, make sure to subscribe to my channel and stay informed.
Number 3. Faster digital immigration. As I mentioned earlier, Japan is incredibly popular among international tourists right now, and that's causing major congestion at airport immigration. To address this, Narita Airport has launched a new digital travel pilot program using facial recognition technology and digital credentials. This system allows passengers flying with participating airlines to use their smartphone's wallet app to handle key steps like ticket purchases and digital travel procedures. With this setup, passengers can register their data in advance, enabling them to pass through security checkpoints and boarding gates using only facial recognition, no need for paper tickets or extra ID checks. Recently, a trial was successfully conducted between Narita Airport and Hong Kong Airport with Cathay Pacific Airways, and it's expected to make travel far smoother in the future. With Japan's tourism demand continuing to grow, This technology could significantly reduce wait times and ease congestion at immigration. While there's no official timeline for full implementation yet, it seems likely to be introduced in the near future.
I'll keep you updated with any new information, so please subscribe to my channel.
Number 4. Essential tips for Visit Japan Web.
Let's talk about Visit Japan Web, a service that simplifies immigration and customs procedures when entering Japan. By registering in advance, you can save time at the airport. But recently, I've been getting to common questions about this service. First, people ask, is Visit Japan Web still necessary now that the pandemic is over? The answer is yes. This service is not the same as the old COVID-19 vaccine app. It's designed to streamline immigration procedures for all travelers. Second, people are asking about fake apps and websites. And yes, there's a real issue with scammers. Some fake services ask for your credit card info and even steal your money. Here's what you need to know. Visit Japan Web is not an app, it's a website. If you've downloaded an app claiming to be Visit Japan Web, delete it immediately. Here's the official website URL. Recently, the Japanese government changed the URL to combat fake sites, so double-check you're using the correct one. Using Visit Japan Web is not mandatory, but I highly recommend it. Without it, you'll need to fill out a paper customs form and stand in longer lines. If you use it, you'll need to show the QR code it generates at customs. I recommend you take a screenshot of the code in case airport Wi-Fi is slow.
By using this service, make your trip to Japan as smooth as possible.
Number 5. New entry requirement. You might need a medical test.
Japan has introduced a new entry requirement for travelers from certain countries. If you're staying in Japan for more than 3 months, you'll now need to get a tuberculosis test before you arrive. This rule is meant to prevent the spread of TB and applies only to travelers from specific countries, including the Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, Nepal, China, and Myanmar. These countries were selected based on past cases of foreign TB patients in Japan. However, if you hold a passport from one of these countries but currently live in a different country that's not on the list, this requirement won't apply to you. This kind of pre-entry health screening isn't unique to Japan. Countries like the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, and South Korea already have similar policies in place. So, if you're traveling to Japan from one of these 6 countries, make sure you get tested and have the required documents ready. Otherwise, you could be denied entry.
Stay informed and plan ahead to avoid any issues at immigration.
Number 6. Japan's new digital nomad visa. Work and travel for 6 months.
In April 2024, Japan introduced a new digital nomad visa, allowing remote workers, freelancers, and IT professionals working for foreign companies to stay in Japan for up to 6 months. This visa also lets you bring your spouse and children, making it a great option for those who want to experience life in Japan while working remotely. Many digital nomads who have used this visa say they love the flexibility of traveling around Japan while continuing their work. Personally, I think it's an amazing opportunity for remote workers looking for a fresh and exciting environment. Recently, the Japanese government has also identified 5 key areas to further support digital nomads, including connecting them with local businesses and improving long-term stay options for families. This initiative is expected to make the program even more successful. If you're a remote worker, this is your chance to work, travel, and live in Japan.
Don't miss out on this fantastic opportunity.
Number 7. Startup visa update. Easier for foreigners to launch businesses in Japan.
Starting January 2025, Japan will expand its startup visa program nationwide, making it easier for foreigners to start businesses anywhere in the country. Under this program, foreign entrepreneurs can stay in Japan for up to 2 years while preparing to meet the qualifications for permanent residency. This eliminates the usual requirements, such as securing a business office, hiring to full-time employees, or investing at least 5 million yen before entering Japan. The government aims to encourage innovation in fields like deep tech and boost regional revitalization by attracting foreign talent. Combined with other initiatives like the digital nomad visa, Japan is becoming a more accessible and livable destination for professionals from around the world.
If you are planning to start a business in Japan, this is your perfect chance.
Number 8. More Chinese tourists coming to Japan. Here is what it means for you.
As I mentioned earlier, Japan currently offers visa exemptions to 71 countries and regions, and the government is actively working to attract even more tourists. One of the biggest recent changes is the easing of visa requirements for Chinese tourists. Why is this important not just for Chinese travelers, but for everyone? Because Japan is already struggling with over-tourism in many popular destinations, and this policy change could make it even worse. In September 2024 alone, over 650,000 Chinese tourists visited Japan, making up about 25% of all foreign visitors. The proposed changes include longer visa validity, a simpler application process, and even visa exemptions for high-income Chinese travelers. This means we can expect even more visitors from China in the near future. While this update mainly affects Chinese tourists, Japan is also considering relaxing visa policies for other countries. However, with more tourists comes the challenge of over-tourism. Kyoto and other famous spots are already feeling the pressure, and this issue could spread to other areas. To address this, the government is encouraging visitors to explore beyond the major cities. And the good news, Japan's countryside is full of hidden gems worth visiting.
If you are looking for recommendations, check out my previous video.
Number 9. Japan's tax-free shopping system. What's changing and why it matters?
Japan's tax-free shopping system is undergoing significant changes, and here's why. Recently, there's been a rise in foreign visitors exploiting the system by purchasing goods tax-free and reselling them within Japan for profit. To address this, the government is reviewing the system to prevent misuse. Currently, when you shop tax-free in Japan, your purchase information is electronically linked to your passport. You are required to show your passport at customs upon departure, but in many cases, this step is skipped. For example, in 2023, customs checked 57 visitors who had purchased over 100 million yen in goods, but only one had the items with them. The remaining 56 were asked to pay the tax, but 55 left Japan without paying. To tackle this, the government has announced for major updates to the tax-free system. These changes have both positive and negative implications for visitors.
I'll go over these updates in the next chapter, so stay tuned.
Number 10. 4 key updates to Japan's tax-free shopping rules.
As mentioned in the previous chapter, Japan's tax-free shopping system has some issues. In this chapter, we'll cover the solutions the Japanese government has recently announced to address these problems, the impact on foreign visitors, and the latest updates aimed at expanding the use of the tax-free system for tourists. And I've got 4 major updates to share with you. First, the tax-free system is switching to a refund-based process. Previously, you didn't have to pay consumption tax at the time of purchase. Now, you'll pay the tax upfront and receive a refund when you leave Japan. This is similar to systems in Germany or France and is aimed at reducing fraud. Second, the requirement for special packaging for consumables will be eliminated. This will streamline store operations and significantly reduce waiting times when shopping tax-free. Third, the 50,000 yen limit for tax-free purchases will be removed. This means you can now buy higher value items tax-free. However, for purchases over 1 million yen, stores will record serial numbers or identification codes for the products. Fourth, these changes will officially take effect starting November 1st, 2026. With these updates in mind, you can make the most of your shopping experience in Japan while avoiding any surprises. Enjoy shopping smarter and tax-free in Japan.
How was today's video?
If you would like a personal guide in Japan or need recommendations for travel plans and cultural experiences,
Please contact me from the link in the description section. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like button. See you in my next video. Bye!